Gather round, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I'm Captain Tirak of the heavy cruiser Slaughterer, as we continue our campaign against the Romulan Star Empire. And last time, well, we just put a major dent in the Romulan Dreadnought fleet as we captured one, which makes me kind of proud about that one. I think we didn't get quite as much prestige as we probably deserve for that kind of extra work. But I'm just going to do a quick check here, make sure that we are all topped off, and we're going to set it back out into space and cause some more damage. If we keep running into Romulans like this, well, then the campaign's going to go a heck of a lot easier than I thought it was. As long as we can keep the AI at a range where they've got to sprint towards us and not able to use their cloaking device, oh, we can do loads of damage with missiles. Alright, so let's red alert and increase speed as we cruise on what appears to be an anti-piracy operation. And how fast can I go again? It has been a little while. I've been fighting off a sickness, and I am now good. And we were looking at... oh yeah, it's a convoy escort. So I'm looking at a freighter over there, a frigate and a light cruiser over there. So my plan... actually no, that's a pretty terrible split you got me in here. So my plan, first and foremost, is to pull off in this direction, but I'm going to conduct a long-range missile engagement. Oh yes, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. Oh boy. And then I'll fire this rack and this rack. That way he will stop. I will pay attention to him again after the stop is completed, and I will destroy him. Oh, you're a frigate and you're a light cruiser. Oh. Wow. This is just a bad situation all around. I mean, we're more than capable of killing all these people, but the problem is we've got to defend the convoy. So I've got to place myself in a position to defend the convoy. So the missile engagement is going to stop him. He's going to stop doing things relatively shortly. If I can blitz down this frigate, I can get something done with that. Merv, select, and start dumping a full salvo into you as well. Actually, yeah, I'm going to, again, do this. We're just zipping around, trying to cover multiple angles, and I need to keep track of you. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious me. You, sir, have... nothing? Okay, wow. Sorry, I was completely flabbergasted because I was wondering where he about to deploy his wild weasel, and apparently he decided that that was not the plan. I mean, yeah, the D-type plasma torpedo is an amazing weapon system, but if you rely on it to that extent, you're probably going to get yourself killed. Okay, so we are fighting some people who decided not to bring the full force and firepower to the table today. Once again, we're going to open up with a quad shot here and see what happens, because they don't appear to be responding to it. Are you going to do the same thing? Because if so, then I've got a new strategy, and I'm not quite sure why this has never come up before. He's not reacting to it. They're not reacting to it at all. I don't even... I'm not sure how to describe that as... wow. Like, I know there's a lot of stunned silences in your... and that's not for effect. I am very confused as to what's actually going on here, because the AI should have responded immediately to the incoming missile fire by dumping a wild weasel, and it didn't. Wow, that was really effective, actually. That, and then this. And the fact that he didn't is just astonishing to me, really. I mean, I'm not complaining. We're absolutely destroying them. Although this guy has just some of the most amazing point defense systems I've ever seen. That's 2, 4, 6 phaser 1s plus an additional 4 phaser 3s. That's a lot. I mean, that is a lot of anti-missile. It's not even anti-missile, that's just flex battery, because 6 of those are phaser 1s, so I mean, those are fully capable anti-cap ship weapons. And then the 8 phaser 3s, that's a pretty common or 4 phaser 3s, that's a real common defensive setup. So 10 phasers in total? Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, he was able to handle quite a bit of that salvo. Unfortunately, he couldn't handle all of it, and that's the key. We were able to completely outrun them with everything that we had. Alright, so we're going to keep pressing. We're just going to save up a decent amount of cash, see what kind of ship we want to get next. I believe we were going for a dreadnought, because dreadnoughts are fun and interesting. And, yeah, that's kind of the main plan at this point. If we take a dreadnought, we're going to be looking for a Merv dreadnought, and basically what that'll end up being is basically our drone cruiser here, except with a huge energy armament as a backup. Huge being relative to the rest of the Merak, because to be honest, they don't do huge energy armaments all that well. Until eventually, once the X-series cruisers get in, we're probably gonna have to grab one of those. They're just too powerful not to take in this. I mean, the Merak X-type heavy cruiser, we have found in our streams that we have been doing that it is just a monster that cannot be stopped. So, if you want to see more of that, I highly suggest you check out some of the streamed content that we've done. We've started up a new stream schedule where we will be streaming every Wednesday and Saturday and checking out just random fights, in addition to doing an Orion Pirates campaign, like literally the Orion Cartel. So, we've been having a little bit of fun with that, messing around with the Orion systems, and working our way through being pirates once more. I am so tempted just to try the quad shot again to see if maybe not using the ARAC does something, because it really kind of seems that way. Alright, so this is a full-on hawk, like a big hawk. It is a... That a Royal Hawk? Can't be, no. Royal Hawks are RHKs. RGK. Regal Hawk. That's gotta be it. So we were staring at what I am 90% positive is a Regal Hawk, who should have probably 2 S's, 2 F's. Maybe more firepower than that. We are solidly in mid-era at this point, so it could be significantly more powerful than that, although we are about to find out. I'm actually going to start the new salvo, because by the time it reaches, his Wild Weasel is going to be gone. Guaranteed. So we're just going to hit him from multiple angles, unless he doesn't use... Nope, there it goes. Dropping the speed using the crash stop for the Wild Weasel, and that's perfectly alright. Probably going to stack 2 full salvos on him if we manage to do this timing right. By the time we actually make it to him, you should not have another Wild Weasel, although we do need, of course, to keep our range open, because if we get close to him, he's going to cloak, because he's going to use his plasma torpedoes and he's going to disappear, and we'll never know what would happen to him. We're about to come around with another salvo, so start our cut-back maneuver so that the curve is more or less in front of the primary salvo. And now he's got a lot of incoming fire to deal with. Let's see what he's about to do. Shoots some of it and then fires his point defense, well, his phaser ones at us. Can't help but feel that was probably a bad decision, because that was a pretty decent number of phaser ones too. So he's got a second salvo heading his way. I'm not quite sure he wants to turn that way, because he's opening an open side to all those missiles and they're just going right on through. Yep. Oh, this campaign may be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Because my main concern when fighting the Romulans was, oh, they're going to cloak and disappear and destroy all my missiles just by virtue of the missiles losing track, but I think we may have a little bit of a way to abuse the AI on this one. That'll be some fun. Keep out here on the edge of space, trying to slowly push our influence down south more in preparation for our great journey. And the great journey is actually one of the reasons why I'm a little bit... considering going into the Dreadnought tier instead of just more like cruisers, because drone cruisers are amazing and powerful, but they are, at the end of the day, limited in how much ammunition they have. And sure, the game will give you for free an entire half load of missiles at the start of every mission, even if you're completely out, but that runs dry pretty quick. I mean, we're going to start running into situations where we really can't fight them off because our only backup weapons are 2 phaser 1s and 8 phaser 3s. So, yeah, that's probably not going to be a fantastic thing if we were to decide just to head to Romulan space with just our current vessel. So, if we go into the Dreadnoughts, we can actually keep the same armament, or near enough to it. It'll be 11 or 12 missiles in total once you factor in the MIRV. But it'll also have disruptors, it'll have multiple phaser hardpoints, it'll have much better shields, it'll have a lot more shuttles, just in case kinds of things. So the Dreadnought definitely would provide us with the sort of capability that we're going to need for a long-range combat. And that's kind of what I want to go for. And to be perfectly frank, that's exactly how they were designed to be. I mean, early Dreadnoughts in this game, they're meant to basically represent upsized heavy cruisers, and they are. I mean, look at the Federation Dreadnought. In fact, we just recently started a Federation mini playthrough with just a Dreadnought to show it off on one of our streams. If you look back, it's the Starfleet Command Dreadnought stream, and that ship has a couple more phasers, but at the end of the day, it's a command cruiser, except bigger. And by the way, remember how I was saying half loads running out of ammo? Yeah, we've got one more round of these. So I'm going to pull completely away, because we're probably going to draw out Yeah, we're going to draw out his Wild Weasel, no problem. But I do think I've timed this right. Ooh, maybe not. The timing will be tight. It'll be very tight, depending on how he deploys it. Okay, there's a deployment. So the distance between us and them is 15. Yeah, by the time that comes online, he will have nothing left. The Wild Weasel will be gone. So we're going to pressure a little bit. My A-Rack's empty, isn't it? No, it's got 6 reloads. We haven't been using it, so... So he's... Oh, you know, this is Klingon? Oh, wow. So this is a Klingon ship. The Klingons and the Romulans have a treaty signed for technology. Basically, the Romulans give the Klingons some ship hulls and cloaking technology, and the Klingons give the Romulans ship hulls and engine technology, because the Romulans very desperately needed modern engine technology. And oftentimes you will see, like, Klingon D7s in Romulan colors, but you don't often see the Romulan ships that were given over to the Klingons, and this is one of their Hawks. This is like a Sparrowhawk or something, except given to the Klingons, which is now just a floating pile of plasma, but yeah, you don't often see the reverse happening all that much. That's pretty cool to see, because that was one of the cool things that Orion Pirates Plus mod does. It massively expands the ship list. Like, there's thousands of entities in this game, which is pretty hilarious. And, yeah, stuff like that is pretty interesting, because it fleshes out the world, you know? There's a little bit more... How do I put this? There's a little bit more realism to what's being provided simply by virtue of giving you more of things that were plot holes, almost. Because, like, yeah, they signed the treaty and they both traded over some technology. Why do the Klingons not have any Romulan kit? Well, they did. And now you have it, and now you can see it. Which is really fun to me. Alright, so nothing on scanners as of yet. We're looking at 6 MIRVs in total. Gonna have to keep track of that rather closely. In fact, I'm wondering how many MIRVs is it gonna sap from this? Hopefully none. It shouldn't take any. I'm just really surprised that we only got, what, 2 salvos out of that MIRV before we completely ran out of ammo? Because it should never tap the MIRV for the Wild Weasel shuttle. Because MIRVs are not normal missiles. So we got another light cruiser off in the distance. According to this, it's an FSP. Now, we can see the part of the first name, the Gavia. So this is clearly a Romulan vessel. If you get the pseudo-Latin or full-on Latin wording, I suppose, yeah, the full-on Latin words for ship names, then you definitely know that you're dealing with a Romulan vessel and not a Klingon vessel. Because the Klingon vessels, well, they have things like Death Beast, although, ironically, that's actually the name of a Gorn ship. Alright, so first salvo is out, and immediately begin our hook to the side. And we're just going to do exactly what we've been doing. So we'll spit out the first salvo, wait for it, spit out the second salvo, wait for it, and spit out a third salvo if necessary. Well, no, it will be necessary, because the first one goes into the Wild Weasel, the second one hits him and damages him, and the third one just gets through. It's a very effective strategy, we're noting. We just need to make sure that we give him enough space to play. So I'm going to back off a little bit, and dump the MIRV. And dump the main salvo in just a second. There's going to be a little bit larger lag on this one. Oh, are you cloaking? Are you flat out cloaking? It looked for a second like he was, but no, apparently not. So he has stopped immediately, dumping out his Wild Weasel shuttle, which the missiles all go and slam on into. And we're going to make our turn in towards him. I'm actually going to come into helm and say, go this way. Just to make sure that we're heading on towards him. Get ready with the MIRVs once again. He's open fire long range. So the first of the MIRVs is away. Stand by for our follow-up shot. And the MIRV has popped. And all additional missiles. So now he's got a lot of missiles incoming. He shoots down some. He grabs some more. Takes a little bit of damage. But the real pain is here. And we're going to break off again. Don't want to ever go right towards him. He, after all, has a very powerful close-range punch that, frankly, we can't match. At the end of the day, a Romulan ship with plasma torpedoes, yeah, that's going to ruin your night. Versus us, who, well, this will ruin your night, but you can deal with it better. I'm going to try and drag him back over more towards our missiles. He's not getting as fast as he kind of needs to be. He needs to be at a speed of 25, which he could make that speed. Like, it's entirely possible for him to be able to handle that. Just probably not now, after all the damage he's taken. Just in case this is needed. Wasn't needed. But hey, we have missiles, and we're currently operating on the half-load principle anyway, so it's free stuff. May as well spend every single missile you get because, well, you're going to get it back for free. And something free, given for free has no value. Sorry, I was recently watching Starship Troopers. It's an awesome movie. Another patrol, just continue to push out the borders is all that we're doing. We're giving ourselves more of an economic base, making it easier for us to afford those big dreadnoughts, because the ships that are created actually are created based on a ratio. Like, every certain number of turns, each empire will produce certain types of ships, and each type of ship has a ratio associated to them. You can actually look in the ship list to see just what sort of chance they have of producing a ship. And if you enlarge in your economic base, well, then you have a greater chance of building larger things. And one of the ways you enlarge your economic base, well, you capture more territory, which is exactly what we're doing. We're being escorted today by the Danny the Bull. Apparently we're working with the pirates this time. Unfortunately, not terrible. I was about to say it was kind of pretty terrible because I saw only the 4 AREX, but he does back that up with a G-type plasma torpedo. So he'll have short-range firepower, well, short-period firepower out of the AREX, but that plasma G is a nice backup. Got a pirate frigate off here in the distance. I could probably just overwhelm you with normal firepower. I don't even need MIRVs, I assume. So get our missiles on out of there and begin our pull to the side. Now the thing about this strategy is we really kind of don't need a scatter pack if we don't find ourselves in an overwhelming position. So unless we find ourselves getting attacked from, well, dreadnoughts, probably going to be fine. So we're just going to cruise on over here and again set ourselves up at range, just keep firing the missiles down. And yeah, eventually we will crush enough people that will make enough money. I think the 4,000 range is probably really where the dreadnoughts are. They might be up to 6,000 though. And we're going to pull off in this direction. Again, we're trying to build in some distance and then hold our missiles back a little bit before we curl back in. Just trying to set it up into a position where ooh, that might be too close together. It may behoove us to actually cut back to see if we can't. Now that should be fine. Yeah, that'll be perfectly fine. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't fire. Yep. Wow, he reacted really early on that one. So we'll get ready for the follow-up barrage, which might not be necessary, but we're going to make sure. He is, after all, only a frigate, so frigates tend to not have a whole heck of a lot of survivability on top of themselves. They're okay escorts, but really you're not going to run into a survivable frigate. Oh, you have a Gatling phaser. And a pair of tractor beams. Nope. 3 salvos. Actually, no, it was just 2 that was needed for the frigate. So we should really start writing this down, honestly, how many salvos are required for each class of ship. But to be fair, that one pirate vessel from the convoy escort at the very beginning of today's episode, he handled pretty much an entire salvo just with his phasers. It's very efficient. More territory taken. I kind of want to go home. Let's start making tracks for home. Because I want to see what is available and how much cash it's going to cost us. Another convoy escort, probably a little bit of a dangerous mission type for us to take, mainly because we don't have a lot of ammo anymore. We're down to half loads. But it does appear like there's only a single heavy cruiser, so we're going to turn on into him. Check how many MIRVs I've got. 6, and maybe that'll pin it. So we've got 6 A racks, 8 in the B rack, and 9 in the other B rack. So looking at 4 salvos out of the Bs and 6 out of the Vs. So we're going to be a little bit aggressive with our MIRVs, since we have so much more MIRV firepower than we have of everything else. In fact, I'm going to double stack a MIRV salvo. So what that means is I'm going to fire 2 MIRVs in this opening salvo on him instead of just the 1. And I'm going to make this salvo big. So I am going to... we're not at speed yet. I'd like to do it now. And we'll follow up shortly after. Wait for that. Build the salvo in. Rest of the missiles. Pull up the speed even more. So I'm going to sap the engines, get a full acceleration going on. I want to catch up to them and dump another MIRV right in their path and then break off. Maybe not. No, that won't work. Because he's going to dump a Wild Weasel. This will proc a Wild Weasel response. Has to. Absolutely has no choice of it. But what we can do is set up the follow-up salvo. Because we know the follow-up salvo he will not be able to defend himself from. So I need to do this. We're going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to make sure my stern is towards him first before I set this up. This is just to drag the range out. I want to make sure that I'm not firing my salvos into him at a range where they will both get sucked up by a Wild Weasel. One more ought to do it. If not, you're going to be badly hurt by it. And we'll be able to do a pretty interesting follow-up. He is maneuvering against the first group. But I think he's going to dump a salvo. And, yep, there's his crash stop. Alright, so now we're going to go hell for leather straight on for him. In fact, I'm going to slow down, because I need to set up the MIRV launch. 6, 5, 4, launch the MIRV. Prepare for backup. And so we've got 2 full salvos out of here. Now we're going to kick up the speed once again. And in fact, just in case, throw anything into electronic countermeasures. We don't care about the rest. So he's got 12 missiles, or 24 missiles heading his way. Or 22, actually. Yeah? Yeah. So let's see how he deals with this. I don't think he can. Perfectly blunt. I don't think he has the capability of handling this. Already 66 on through that side, and he's still holding on to those with the tractor beam. As the second salvo comes on in, it is just a spear of deadly light. And let's see what it does to him. Shattered. Oh, drone cruisers are so good. Especially in this era. I mean, this is going to turn to pain. We're going to reach a point where every other ship has a D-type plasma torpedo launcher or 4 to 6 anti-missile defense systems. We are enjoying the high life now, but eventually things will go south. So let's pop on in here. We have 4,713 prestige. What is the most expensive thing on the menu? 4,692 for a DNR. This should just be a phaser upgrade. No, it's a drone rack reload upgrade, so it improves, which launcher? One of them. I think it improves the A-racks into B-racks, doesn't it? But unfortunately, the one that we want is the DNLRM. Or even better, the DNRM. Because what the DNRM has is a MIRV launcher on top of all its other weapon systems. So it will have it'll have the same salvo capabilities we do. The C-racks can fire double speed, so they would be good at picking off drones. But it would have pretty much the same missile firepower, but in disruptors and phasers, you bring a lot more to the table. We have the War Dreadnought series out now. The War Dreadnought would bring us same fire pack, weapons fire pack. Monitors are not interesting to us. Also, I almost never run into them. I haven't really seen them. We got a War Auxiliary Dreadnought, which... that's actually really cool. I like that, because the MIRV is spitting out 11 missiles. But 6 of those missiles do reduce power. But this is 12 extended magazine missile racks. That's a beautiful thing. Oh, and the battleships are out as well. The battleships are packing only 10 missile launchers. Okay, so if we run into a WAXDN1, we probably want that. Power 63, yeah, we want this. That would probably be really good. I'm going to keep an eye out for that one for sure. The battleship itself is out. Do we have a battle? And the battleship MIRV is also out. The battleship MIRV is packing 2 MIRVs. Ooh, the BBM may be the way to go. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to hunt for BBMs. Because BBM has everything we want. It's got 10 normal missile racks plus an additional 2 missile rack Vs, so that matches this War Auxiliary Dreadnought in terms of just firepower launchers. And then, on top of that, you get the MIRV. Now, the Auxiliary Dreadnought actually will have a longer period where it can fight, because part of this is the MIRVs don't have huge magazines, and the C-racks don't have huge magazines. It's just the B-racks with the extended magazine. So we even have an A-rack, 2 A-racks here, which have reduced magazines. So the Auxiliary Dreadnought would be a better long-term fighter, but the battleship has so much more upfront salvo firepower. So there is the DNLRM, and it is the drone. It is a light dreadnought, which is packing the normal missile pack. I think we already took a look at this. Yes, we did. So the normal 6 missile pack. But yeah, we're going to either look for a BBM or a War Auxiliary Cruiser, and I'm anticipating the BBM is probably going to be 9 or 10,000. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of this work for a little bit while longer while we build up enough, at least to get some sort of dreadnought. I really would like that Auxiliary Dreadnought. That's a really cool dreadnought. So we'll want a dreadnought as our core fleet, plus an escort, probably a heavy cruiser of some description, and then also we need to bring the base, a base itself. And then we'll probably come down here and try and establish a base somewhere in this area around here with a starbase, which we can reload at. and then we'll push into Romulan territory and see what we can do. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tirek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. What do you think about the plan that we're going to do? We're going to get a dreadnought, then back that up with a cruiser, and then bring our base, set up a nice little base over here. And I will see you all in the next episode.